What's going on, guys? It's Modern, and today I'm going to be commentating my 4th round match from the very first VGC 16 Premier Challenge in Arizona. For this round, I played against a player named Bryan, who actually just moved up from the Senior Division to the Masters Division for this season, so I was very excited to play him. I know that he's a really good player because I have had the opportunity to play him a couple of times in other Premier Challenges, and I was really excited to see that we had very similar team setups. Because both of us had a fast Groudon and dual primals, so like fast Groudon, slow Kyogre with Trick Room. We both had a Mega Steel type. The main differentiating factors is that he had Amoongus over my Salamence slot, and then he had Thundurus over my Talonflame slot. So at least it wasn't a full-on mirror match, but I knew that I would have the advantage just because Scizor was faster, and obviously Talonflame has priority. I also figured that Salamence would not be the best Pokemon in this matchup just because he did have the Thundurus and the Mawile, as well as the Cresselia, which could be packing an Ice Beam or Trick Room. So I just wanted to go for sort of the light speed control with Talonflame if I did need that, and obviously the priority works very well if he did set up the Trick Room. For my leads, I sent out the Scizor and Groudon against his Groudon and Thundurus. I was figuring that if he let off the Kyogre or something, I could just easily double target with physical attacks, predicting it to be a lot slower variant given that he is a Trick Room team, or at least he has the Trick Room option. And since that my Scizor actually had a lot of speed investment, I figured I would probably be able to outspeed it regardless. For this first turn, I just go for the Mega Evolution, and I go for the Feint and the Precipice Blades. Like I said, I really just wanted to play this game a little bit risky, figure out what all of his sets were. Given that both of us were 3-0 at this point, we were both guaranteed top cut. So I'd rather just play it risky and figure out what his sets are, rather than trying to go for the win. Because like I said, I think it's more important for me to figure out information for top cut, rather than worry about a loss in Swiss. That wouldn't really matter. And to my surprise, I actually pick up the knockout with the combination of my attacks. Now, normally without the critical hit, it would be a roll with the Precipice Blades and the Feint. I believe, just on average, it's sort of like a 40% chance to KO. I'm not too certain. And I actually found out that my Scizor had the wrong EVs, so with the Feint combo, it probably would have been able to knock out a little bit more in my favor than usual. This turn, I know that he has the Kyogre out with his Weather. I don't really want to bring anything out like in my Groudon slot just because I do have the Kyogre and Talonflame in back. I don't want to switch into the Thunderbolt, so I'd rather just go for the Precipice Blades to get off damage on his Kyogre, and I'd just protect to save my Scizor. Just because I know something like a Water Spout or Thunderbolt combination might be able to take me out, since I am slower. Now for this next turn, I do bring in the Talonflame, because I know I can just go for a Feint and a Brave Bird. If he switches into the Mawile right here, he risks me going for something like a Flare Blitz if I do go for the prediction. So I figured he'd just go for an attack and maybe sack his Kyogre, and then go for a Thunderbolt onto my Talonflame, which I was really fine with at this point. But to my surprise, he goes for a Thunderbolt onto my Scizor. Now, it is a little bit unfortunate for me right here, because I find out that I found out later after this battle that a Thunderbolt is something like a 1 in 64 chance to 2-hit KO my Scizor build. So he actually manages to get that for this battle, and had he not gotten it, then this match probably would have been over. But like I said, didn't really matter. I was more looking forward to seeing his sets rather than trying to outright win the battle. Now for this next turn, I just go for a Protect with Scizor, trying to conserve it just in case if he wants to go for the Thunderbolt in that slot. I figured he'd go for the Sucker Punch right here, but I know that I can live it just based off of the amount of HP I had. And I'd also get a free switch in from the Recoil if he did decide to attack me. And had he not attacked me, then I could just go for maybe a Feint and a Flare Blitz, and then he'd go down to something like a Bullet Punch, regardless of the Intimidate. Now, I do get a free switch into the Kyogre this turn since I did knock myself out with Recoil, and at this point, I knew that he was a max attack Thundurus, so I knew sort of what his chances were for getting the KO on my Kyogre if he did double up with maybe like a Sucker Punch and a Thunderbolt, and as well as attacking my Scizor. Like I said, 1 in 64 was really bad for me, and to my surprise, he actually goes for a Protect with Mawile. I figured he'd probably just go for a Sucker Punch and then a attack onto my Kyogre maybe, but I don't know. I was thinking he would play around Feint this turn, so I went for the Bug Bite onto his Thundurus. And I actually went for a really bad play there going for the Bug Bite, given that Feint would break a potential Focus Sash. But at this point, like I said, multiple times, didn't really matter to me because I knew if I lost in Swiss right here, I'd still make top cut, and I'd rather figure out his sets. So at least I do know for a fact that he does have the Focus Sash, and I do know that he has a max special attack Thundurus, as well as a slower Kyogre and a speedy Groudon. And that's pretty much all there is for this battle, guys. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. I will be posting the rest of the top cut matches sometime next week, probably. Just because I'm going to be busy this weekend, and there is a Premier Challenge on Monday of next week. So, obviously, I'll post those matches later next week, and then I'll probably start posting matches for the upcoming Premier Challenges the following week. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.